I've been a detective for 17 years. I've seen cases go cold. I've seen families give up. I've seen evidence buried under paperwork, time, and bad luck. But I've never seen a case reopened because a dog wouldn't leave. Her name was Summer, and she made me realize I had failed. It started on a Tuesday in March. A man named Daniel Ortega didn't come home from work. His wife, Maria, called the station at 11 p.m. She was calm at first, said he was probably stuck in traffic, maybe his phone died. By Wednesday morning, she wasn't calm anymore. Daniel worked at a warehouse in South Phoenix. Steady job, no debts, no enemies, no reason to run. His car was found 2 days later, parked on the side of Route 87, just outside the city limits. Keys still in the ignition, wallet on the passenger seat, phone dead. No blood, no struggle, no body. Nothing, just nothing. We searched the area, brought in dogs, checked the ditches, the brush, the drainage pipes. Nothing. The case sat on my desk for 3 weeks. I interviewed his coworkers, his friends, his family. Everyone said the same thing. Daniel was a good man, reliable, loving father, hard worker. But there was no evidence of foul play, no witnesses, no motive, no suspect. The department wanted to close it, label it a voluntary disappearance. Maybe he left, maybe he had a breakdown, maybe he's out there somewhere, starting over. I didn't believe that. But I had nothing to prove otherwise. So I signed the report. Case closed. I went home that night and didn't sleep. If you're still listening, thank you, because what happened next changed everything. 2 weeks later, I got a call from Officer Ramirez. He was part of the K-9 unit. We'd used his dog Summer during the initial search. "Detective," he said, "I need you to come back out to Route 87. "Why?" "Summer won't leave." I didn't understand. "What do you mean she won't leave?" "We were doing a training exercise near the area. She bolted, ran straight to the spot where we found Daniel's car, and she won't move." I drove out there. Summer was sitting near the edge of the vacant lot, about 50 yards from where the car had been. She wasn't barking, wasn't digging, just sitting, staring at a low stone wall that separated the lot from a small house. "Summer, come," Ramirez called. She didn't move. He walked over, clipped her leash, and pulled gently. She resisted, planted her paws, looked back at the wall. "She's never done this before," Ramirez said quietly. I looked at the house behind the wall. It was old, paint peeling, overgrown yard. I'd seen it during the initial search, but we'd never gone inside. "Who lives there?" I asked. Ramirez checked his phone. "Property records say it's owned by a woman named Dorothy Klein, 76, retired school teacher." "Is she home?" "No, she's been in the hospital for weeks. Pneumonia." I stared at the wall. Summer stared at the wall. "Let's go," I said. We left. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. 3 days later, I went back, alone. I stood at the edge of the lot looking at that wall. The padlock on the side gate was rusted. The yard was full of flowers, roses, daisies, lavender. It looked peaceful. Too peaceful. I called the station, got permission to enter the property, broke the lock. Summer was with me again. Ramirez had agreed to bring her, though he didn't understand why. The moment I opened the gate, she bolted, straight to the back corner of the yard, near a patch of freshly turned soil. She started digging. "Summer, no!" But she didn't stop. I knelt down, looked at the dirt. It was loose, recent. I called forensics. They found Daniel Ortega, 8 feet down, wrapped in plastic, buried deep enough that no one would have ever looked. The coroner confirmed blunt force trauma to the head. He'd been dead for over a month. We brought Dorothy Klein in for questioning when she was released from the hospital. She had no idea. She'd been in the ICU when it happened. But her neighbor did. A man named Travis Holbrook, 32, worked at the same warehouse as Daniel. Turns out, Daniel had loaned him $1,000 6 months earlier. Travis never paid it back. Daniel started asking for it, politely at first, then more firmly. Travis snapped. He met Daniel after work one night. They argued. He hit him, once, hard enough to kill him. He panicked. He knew Dorothy's house, knew she was in the hospital, knew the yard was hidden, overgrown and unlikely to be searched. So he buried him there. And we almost let him get away with it. Travis Holbrook was arrested on May 14th. He confessed within 2 hours. Daniel's family finally got answers, and I finally slept. I think about that case a lot, not because it was complicated, it wasn't, but because I almost gave up. I trusted the reports, the timelines, the logic. I didn't trust the dog. Summer didn't solve the case. She didn't understand what happened to Daniel. She didn't know about Travis or the money or the argument, but she knew something was wrong, and she refused to leave until someone listened. I failed Daniel Ortega the first time, but Summer gave me a second chance. The case closed, but the bitter taste still lingered in my mouth. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. I want to ask you something. Have you ever ignored your instincts only to realize later you were right? Leave a comment. I read every one. And if you want more stories like this, real investigations, real mistakes, real corrections, please subscribe, because the truth doesn't always come easy, but it always comes.